scariest moment with me as a baby?
When you stop breathing. That's very easy.
Story time.
Your dad, story time. I'll make this one quick. Your dad used to always get on my case, as he still does today, about just all I can think about is you and you guys and making sure you're safe. And I'm just afraid for anything to happen to you guys
any parent
constantly.
should be like that, but just not
as obsessive
like
as
you,
I am.
yeah.
Right. Okay. So with that being said, I used to have a TV screen as the monitor, and the camera in her room, of course, in her crib. And we used to watch movies constantly back in the day, just dinner and a movie
still do.
Always.
But you meant just you and Dad.
Just Daddy and I, yeah. We don't really watch that many movies.
Watching a movie tonight.
Movies. But we used to sit in the living room and watch movies, and I would be, watching you on the monitor. And he would be infuriated because he'd be like, oh my gosh, you're not even watching the movie. You're not watching it at all. You've been staring at the monitor the whole time. And I would be like, what do you care? How do you even know? Like, are you watching me? And you're not watching the movie either then. Whatever. So we'd go back and forth because I was always just staring right at the TV's over here and I'd be just staring at Haley. It was my movie, watching her. And I would just like to watch her chest rise and fall. And I'd like
She still does that.
Yes.
With our camera for Maddie.
Yes. And I still check in her room before I go to sleep.
That's how
and
I can't
all that kind of
sneak
stuff.
out.
But I just feel like I just always should watch, and it's probably from this story. Mm-hmm. Although no, because I was already watching.
Before, that's how you noticed.
Exactly.
It's just your gut.
Yeah.
Because it could happen.
Because it happens.
Happened.
Right. So anyway, I'm staring. I like to see when she changes positions, if it's a safe one, just all kinds of stuff. And so I was looking at the monitor and then, kind of looking at the TV just for Matt, just to throw him a bone, look at the TV. And then I was like, and I kept going closer and closer and closer to the monitor. I'll show you guys.
No.
So anyway, I kept going closer and closer. And then I was like, wait a minute. And I went in the room because I thought I didn't see her chest rising and falling. Every other time it was very obvious. I could see it and I was settled and I could look back at the TV. I didn't see it. And I waited and watched and still didn't see it. Went to the room. The reason I didn't see it is because it wasn't happening. She wasn't breathing. So I picked her up. She was a limp noodle. Us moms know that when the babies are asleep, you wake them up. They kind of stiffen up because they do the little baby cute stuff. And
freaking adorable.
Yeah, they do all that little shifty stuff. Well, she was limp noodle. They're never limp like that. Never. I could tell something was wrong. Basically dead. I mean, you weren't breathing. Your heart was still, all that.
By the way, wait, real quick. I am, what's it called? When you can't die.
Psychotic.
Ooh, see? God threw it at you for saying that. What is it when you can't die? Immortal.
Okay.
I've had so many close encounters to death.
And about 3 of which I have saved her from. Anywho, so went to the room, picked up this noodle, and I just
Is that why Auntie Laura calls me noodle?
Panic. She calls you noodle
because I have a weird obsession with mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Why'd she call me noodle? You acting like it's not that.
Now I'm kind of getting confused. I think I was calling you noodle, and she picked it up, and that was her favorite name. Is it because I love
mac and cheese?
I don't remember why. Right now I don't remember. Probably because I just want to finish telling the story. Hold up. I need some air.
Ow, I hit my knee. I'm trying to help you. That's why I don't help people.
Long story short, I panicked and I just started shaking her like crazy. I started hitting her face and I was just losing my shit. And I was screaming her name. Of course, Matt heard, and you can tell I wasn't kidding. And he started running down into the room, down the long hall into the room. And I was just like, just, oh my gosh, and yelling. I wasn't crying. I was just raising my voice. And so he started like going into a full panic and saying, what's wrong with her? What's wrong with her? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Like, well, oh my gosh, what are you? And so I was saying her name and slapped her face. And I got my mom on the horn, of course. Call 911, people, okay? But I got my mom on the horn. And what happened almost simultaneously was Haley started to breathe. And she went, Mama. Like her little way that she was starting to say mama and stuff back then. Well, she said it. So, of course, I started crying. And I was like, oh, my gosh, here she is. She started getting life about her and, like, moving. Was I pale? No, not really. I don't think I remember that. I just remember your eyes, like you were not a wet noodle anymore. You had yourself. And you were just an infant, but you had yourself. And so then I called mom, and I was telling her all about it. I was crying. And so she was like, the next time anything like that happens, you call 911 before you call me. And, so they can get there and be working on her and blah, blah, blah. And so I called my Aunt Cynthia, who is a nurse, taking nursing classes and all that stuff at the time. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this happened. And I described the whole thing to her. She said, it's a good thing you went in there and grabbed her, because in the morning, because I could have not went back to her. She was fine. I had the monitor. She would have probably slept through the night if she didn't just want milk. Although she wasn't sleeping in her own crib then, so I would have grabbed her anyway later on. She's saying when you went to her later on or in the morning, they would have told you that she died of SIDS.
What's that?
Just sudden infant death syndrome. There's no explanation.
Is it always like
they
at
find
night,
these
or
babies overnight. They find the babies dead in the morning, and no one can explain what happened.
You fear unlocked.
It decreases big time once the baby turns 1, but under 1, that's a huge risk. Anyway, so that happened.
Goals.
And her cord was wrapped around her neck just this year on her phone. And that happened. And it got wrapped around another time when she was younger.
So many life
that
and death
happened. I came in and
encounters.
took it off and then raised my voice again.
Yeah.
Alright folks, it got super hot outside, but don't worry, we're still gonna film the rest of the video, but we're just gonna do it here. Okay.
I'm just kidding.
What?
I was just like sitting here like a little student.
Okay, is there something you wish you did differently in raising me?
In raising you? Okay, so I do keep having this nagging guilt topic. And it keeps nagging at me, so I know that it is something that I wish that I had paid more attention to at the time. The only thing that I kind of think, and you've had nothing but my attention and my affection for 15 years,
Right.
overabundance of which, but I feel like when you were Maddie's age, when you gained a little sister, I feel like when you were at that age, I wish I had done more loving on you. I mean, how could you have more loving on you? I don't know. But there's something that nags at me inside that when I'm snuggling Maddox and all over her and we're, enveloped in each other, I'm like, gosh, I did this with Haley, but it would have been more if I hadn't been distracted by a baby.
But that happens with everyone.
I know, but that's it. That's the thing. You asked me a question, I answered it.
I mean, it's just like
Sometimes I feel guilty when I'm having her in my lap, even though you still can get in my lap now. It's just, I am like, gosh, did Haley get this? Did she miss out on this because I had a new baby at that time?
I don't think so.
Okay, good. That makes me feel better. But that's the one thing that nags at me.
Have you ever used a fake ID?
Yes.
Would you let me use a fake ID?
Yes.
There's the tea, folks.
You said close the book, huh, Jeff? And now we got the answers, ladies, that we've been looking for.
That was the whole... Alright, so
Been
right now,
up to
what
this.
age do you think you'd let me get a fake ID?
Before 21, because you wouldn't need one
So
before
like
then.
16?
Never. You wouldn't need one at
But
16.
I mean-
I'm not going to put you in a position that only adults are doing something and you are
18,
there.
I can get one by myself.
No, you can't, because I wouldn't have needed to borrow my friends if I could have gotten one by myself.
No, I mean like a fake ID.
Oh,
Like
yeah, you can get
you
one.
don't have that over me. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Because
At
like once I'm an
18?
adult, I can get my own fake ID. I don't really need to ask you. If I can
Okay,
get a fake
so
ID. But
what
I
are
mean,
you
even now
asking
I
for
could have
then?
a fake ID. But
Right.
I mean, like I was just asking. Like, do you
The
think
answer
would
is
you
yes.
find
I
it?
wouldn't mind
Would
at
you
20,
go with me?
like hooking you up and handing you,
Would you go with me when I had a fake ID?
Yes,
Nice.
absolutely. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Okay.
Especially because you might get kicked out and I want to be there to protect you.
Have you ever read my diaries?
Yes, with you.
Oh yeah. It's because I like to share my diaries.
But secretly snuck and read them? No.
It's because you already knew it was them.
I don't have to. See, that's the thing.
Like me and Haley,
close
whenever
relationship,
Haley
you don't
comes
have to do
over, we'll be
that
like, let's read my diaries. Because my diaries, oh my gosh, I was definitely that kid.
We read my diary. Remember, I found it from when I was your age.
But you didn't let me read all of it.
Did I finish it? No, because there was some personal family stuff that I haven't introduced her to yet.
This is kind of my diary in a way. I just do a lot of...
Yeah.
But I was that kid. I have probably about...
You've loved
30 diaries.
Oh, you loved them. Every
book fair.
Haley and her friends.
Gosh. Maybe I should do a reading my diary. Let me know if you guys would love that video.
That'll be interesting.
My diaries are very interesting. They could be books.
Hilarious.
How do you feel about me using birth control for periods?
I don't feel anything.
You'd let me?
If you needed it.
What do you think about laser hair removal?
I love it.
We'll do it together.
Unless it burns you.
Do it together. I mean, it's a laser.
I'm in.
Next video, me and Mom. Wait, why did you do that?
I think anything.
Could I do it now?
I could ask them
Let's
to do
go.
yours and it would, yes.
For real, I'm dead serious. I just shaved my armpits. I'll put a clip of it in. Okay, what would you say if I didn't want to go to college?
Again, good one.
No, I'm for real.
We'd have a conversation.
And it really depends on, like, because I know a lot of people who do YouTube and, like, they're actually being successful on YouTube, so they do, like, a gap year and just focus on YouTube and then go to college. And it really depends on, like, what I'm going to do in that time.
Right.
Like,
we have a conversation on what's taking its place.
It's different if I'm just, like, not wanting to go because I want to stay in bed all day. But, like, if I'm actually doing something that I think would take time off of college.
Right, or like a trade or something else that is specific to what you feel you're driven to go do, we have to have a conversation.
Right, but you wouldn't be opposed to the idea of me not going to college?
I am right now, but I might not be later. Again, growing up, that wasn't an option for me, and I'm glad it wasn't. And I'd like to make it not optional for you.
Do you have any benefits from going to college that you've got today?
Yes, I have 2 degrees that are sitting in my back pocket for whenever I want to lay them on the table. I also have years of phenomenal experiences, good and bad. I had some negative experiences in college too, with, you know, professors and things. I had one negative experience with grades and unfairness and that kind of stuff. So you get the good and the bad, and you need them both.
Okay. Would you be friends with me if you were my age?
I think so.
I just took offense that you even had to...
Because I want to answer honestly, and I want to think about it. Like, thinking of myself back then and thinking of how you are, especially at school and around your friends and stuff.
Oh my God, don't even give me...
That's what I'm saying. I have to take all that in. And I think so. I think there are things that I could be like, you know.
If this quarantine taught me anything, it's that I do not like who I used to be. I have made tremendous
Well, that's part
self-growth.
of maturity too. Even if quarantine wasn't here, like 5 years from now, you're going to look at this video and say, my gosh, I've made such tremendous, you know, that doesn't change.
But it's just like, I was so annoying.
Yeah, you're going to think that this
I wouldn't have been my friend. I'd be my friend now, but I wouldn't have been my friend. Because
I would have been my friend.
I wanted to slap my head off. But would you be my friend now? Yeah. Okay, what's your favorite thing about me? There's just so many.
That we're so close and we have so much fun together. And I can always count on a good time. Like if I don't ever have to be like, oh, it's going to be so boring. You know, yes, there are times that you just are busy doing things in your room. Maddie might even be busy in hers, and Daddy's doing, you know, watching a game or at work, right? And there are just kind of bored down times, but I always know if I come in here and throw your computer on the floor and say, party time, like there's a possibility we're about to have a party and have fun. Like we just have fun.
Yeah. What's your least favorite thing about me?
That you are still in that stage that you feel like everything has to be controlled, and I know how dangerous that can be later on. You do need control, but you also have to be able to go with the flow, and plans change and you ride with it, and it doesn't ruin your life because plans are always going to change. You know, and I don't want you to be that kind of person that's so stuck in what was written for tomorrow's agenda that it was written in pen and not pencil.
Right.
Write that down.
That was a good one. Deep. That was deep. Any copyright issues? Did you take that?
No.
Fine. That's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please let me know.
First of all, you have to add to the comments questions that you think she should ask me on the next one.
Oh gosh. And I'm going to make one with my dad
Yes.
too. So questions that I should ask
For
my
Dad, and maybe we can do one with
Maddie?
both of us.
Oh gosh. The awkwardness for me.
Like,
would
raise
go
your hand if you
really
would,
rude.
blah, blah, blah. Or would
Or
you
we
have
could do
her
a
ever,
never have I.
See? Great minds, great minds.
Yeah, maybe a never have I ever with you and Dad.
But drop the comments. Let us know what you think.
Like, actually, when I say comment.
Please put it. We really want to know. We're really, like, at
It's
a
not
loss
just
sometimes.
a script. We're actually asking. I mean, it is a script, but, like, we're actually wondering.
All right, guys. Stay safe out there. Peace.
Adios. Ugh. Okay, get out of my room.
Get out.
Don't make me my
All right,
plate.
come on. Let's go partay. Oh my
Can't
gosh, my
even
legs
get
are so
up.
different. My legs even feel different.